Yeah, well, solid, good bounce back. I thought our energy was so much better than it was against Wright State the other night. So took a lot of positives from that. Our effort was better. I thought our identity, we were a little back to our identity. Kind of knew the way Niagara was going to play coming into this, which is somewhat similar, just with their ability to turn people over. So a little disappointed in our turnovers. That would be the one thing that comes to mind pretty quickly is we need to value the ball a little bit better than that, for sure. But yeah, shared it, spread it around. Thought we handled their full court pressure than we did their half court pressure. I thought we didn't do as good of a job in the half court as I would have liked handling it. But all in all, yeah, got a lot of people involved, a lot of people minutes, spread it around, got to score it, so that looks pretty good. So I guess really turnovers and then shooting the three wasn't very good tonight. So we had some open looks that we did not convert. But other than that, yeah, to finish this semester 11-0. Pretty good. I think it was only the fourth time, right, in school history that any team has started 11-0. That's hard to do. Wasn't sure, honestly, when we were here months ago if this is where we would be sitting and be undefeated at the time. But the kids have done a great job. They're a pleasure to coach, and we a much-deserved 4 or 5 days off. So, yeah, Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays from all of us to yours out there. And we'll catch our breath, and then we'll turn our attention to Big 12 play.
Talking about balance between doing it on the offensive and defensive end, 32 turnovers forced, but you also reached the 100-point mark. I feel like that's able to kind of be a good sign that you can do it both ways heading into what is now conference play.
Yeah, I think it was 25 steals too on those 32 turnovers. So steals are live ball turnovers, and those are the ones that we chart and that we want even more than just to throw it out of bounds turnover. It allows us to get on the open floor, use our speed and our quickness, where I think we're pretty good. And honestly, I didn't think we even converted at the rate that we probably could be capable of. So still something that, yeah, we're going to probably turn people over, maybe not this much, going into the Big 12. But it's still, even cleaning some stuff up in the open floor would be a little bit better. But, one of the goals was to attack the paint. We did that. I don't know if this was a season high or not, but I think it was like 66. Yeah, 66 points in the paint. That's a lot of points at the rim.
Coach, you've obviously coached through conference seasons before. You've coached against other Big 12 teams before. But now this first opportunity to kind of do it from here on out, game after game. What about that, kind of grabs your interest and going through it for the first time?
Yeah, well, just the depth of the league, I mean, it's a little different at the mid-major level where, there's nights where you can probably look at a preseason schedule and figure out, hey, here's some runs, or, if we take care of business, we should be able to string some wins together. You look at the Big 12 schedule and you're like, where's that run going to come? Because it's quality opponent after quality opponent. So, it'll be different. Conference play. I always think it's hard to win on the road in conference play, regardless of what league you're in. So that has my full attention. Going on the road in the Big 12 is going to be extremely difficult. And then you got to protect your home court too. So, if you can protect your home court and steal some games here and there on the road, then you put yourself in a position, for postseason and, a seed in the Big 12 tournament and then hopefully the NCAA tournament. And going 11-0 early helps all of that as well. So we did what we needed to do in the non-conference, and now we got to go try to take care of business here in the Big 12.
Share some insight on what the film study that JJ said was a little bit of a reaming after the Wright State game. I just wanted to know, how much did that fuel you guys coming in it today? And it seemed like you mentioned the energy level at the start was better. You guys kind of imposed your will from the opening tip.
Yeah, no, and that's a phrase we use, impose your will. We wanted to do that. It was a little bit of a different film session than we've had a little bit earlier. We watched quite a bit of it. I kind of told them, don't listen to my tone take my tone a little bit when we were watching it, but still listen to the message more than anything else. And, for us, we just haven't been we need to hold them accountable, and even for me, there may be times through that winning streak that, I didn't do my part. And so I told them it was on me, it was on them, but I'm going to hold them accountable, and that's my job. And so we did that and, didn't get on the court as much 2 days ago after the game. So we really just decided we'd watch film and get better. And they took some great notes and they had some good thoughts and comments afterward. And their response was what you would want. And so kudos to them.
Going back to the three-point shooting, 4 for 16 on Monday and then 4 for 21 tonight. Is there a way to kind of fix that, or is it just have to make the open looks when you have?
No, I think for the most part we're getting the right looks and the right people are getting the right looks. And so it's just, working through it. Lauren hadn't shot it great here lately, but she's worked hard to get through, a little bit of that shooting slump. She made a couple today and had some really good looks at a few others. So as long as the right kids are getting them, that's what it's basketball. You kind of live with it. Now, at the same time, if you're not shooting it well, you need to find different ways to score the ball. So that's that's something we challenge them with. Don't just keep shooting if you're 0 for 4 or 5. Let's maybe go get a layup or get to the free throw line and then see the ball through, and then maybe the next time you touch it, go ahead and shoot that 3 again. So lots of different ways to evaluate it. Not overly concerned about it, but we do need to shoot it at a better percentage for sure.
You mentioned the 4th time in school history being 11-0. What does that mean to you? And I guess how do you relay the message to the girls that it's an accomplishment, but obviously it's not something that you want to, rest on for too long?
Yeah, well, I guess we get to, so one of the messages before the game was we're going to close the chapter today. So this is closing one chapter, and when we get back, we'll open the next chapter to the book. And, really the story that we're trying to write is what I talk about a lot, is every year you have the blank book and we get to write the story and kind of tell it how we want. And so as of now, we're closing these chapters and we're 11-0, and it's remarkable. We're a first-year program with kids that have been recruited by 3 different players, but they've bought in. I think it's a system that fits this group for the most part pretty well. We've gotten healthy at the right time, so we hadn't been as healthy in the fall, but now I think we've gotten healthy at the right time. But I think we needed this break too at the same time. I think we've been grinded and going at it here for a while. So much deserved and earned little break. Hopefully they do a little bit of something on the break, though, so it doesn't catch up with us on the 26th when we get back.
Coach, when you were talking about the depth of the Big 12, I think there's like 10 undefeated teams still left in women's basketball. I think 4 or 5 of them are in the Big 12. A portion of your player, probably half the roster maybe, or some of the roster, hasn't played in the Big 12. So how do you kind of get them ready for this gauntlet when they've never gone through it before?
If you haven't been through it, you can't experience. That's what experience is, right? So you can ask me or ask them. I don't know. I haven't been through it, but I've been through conference seasons. I know how hard it is, like I said, to win on the road and win in your league. I've coached against Power 5 schools. We just haven't done it every Wednesday and Saturday. I know that's not always the schedule, but essentially 2 games every single week against that level of competition. So, it's about being consistent. I think that's what we've tried to do. We've had some peaks and valleys, and, we've done this, but, hopefully as the year goes, those get smaller, and then we kind of flatline it and start playing pretty consistent, and at a high level. And there'll be ups and downs. There will be those peaks and valleys, but we just need to limit the valleys as best we can. And I think if we do that, then we'll be in really good shape when we get to March.
Have there been any surprises to you through the first 11 games?
Oh, well, probably. I think we've shot it a little bit better than I was expecting. I don't know that we're a great rebounding team, but we're holding our own now. But I know that challenge is about to step up big time. But really just them catching on, I think, and buying into, some of the ball movement, the extra passes, the sharing of the basketball. I was a little worried about that coming in, so maybe surprised that we're moving it and they've bought into that philosophy. I thought we've come a long way with getting the ball in the paint. First 2 or 3 games, I didn't think we completely trusted everybody on the team. So I think our trust has grown. And I keep getting more information every time. I keep saying that, but every time we play, I get a little more info on our team, and that only helps me kind of guide them and lead them.
Ever since your win against Penn State, your team has been left out of the top 25. Would you say they're somewhat playing with a chip on their shoulder because you're 11-0 now and you're still not in the top 25?
Yeah, you can only play the schedule in front of you, and I think we've done a pretty good job. We've had 2, I guess, kind of tighter games, but outside of that, we've done a pretty good job of taking care of business. I think we've earned the right, and you look at some of the other metrics and some of the different, rankings that people think we're a quality basketball team. So we just got to get that AP and those AP poll voters to think the same thing. And, we've been pretty close. And are pretty close, and so, it's when it happens, it's going to happen. Do we play with a chip on our shoulder because of that? I don't know about that, but we know we're close, and we know it would mean a lot to get there, and then we know it's going to take a heck of a lot to stay in that thing. But, we'll see what happens, I guess, next Monday, and then there may be one more, I don't know, before we go to Kansas.
Jordan's stat line tonight obviously looks pretty good until you get to the turnovers, but obviously she's been pretty good with that all year. So is this kind of like maybe a one-game aberration, or any concern there?
No, it better be. No, I've seen Jordan not do this, but play at a high level, and I think the game probably dictated. She got a little sloppy. The score probably dictated some of the passes that she was, trying to make or getting rid of it a little bit early. A little bit was their pressure too, so give Niagara some credit there. She threw it out of some traps that she probably didn't need to make that pass. But no, I think she'll bounce back. That kid's tougher than nails, and she's disappointed. And part of it, I wanted her to have to play through that a little bit today, and they kept pressing the whole night, so normally I would have probably taken her out with JJ, but just needed another ball handler in there to kind of finish it off, and she's the one that organizes us offensively and defensively.
Is there a way that you can look at Monday's game and take positives out of it, even though I'm sure you would have liked to win more comfortable fashion, just kind of I guess a recharge for a wake-up call type thing?
Yeah, we got a lot out. I thought our response showed me that we took out of it what we needed to take out of it, right? The way we played today completely told me that we took the Wright State game and ran with it the way that I would expect them to. So it can be. You still don't love it, and I think we dropped like 8 points in the net after that game, so that's the disappointing part, and that's based on efficiency and some of those things because we didn't play very efficient basketball. But again, it's going to happen, and we responded the right way, so proud from that standpoint. Yep, no doubt.
You kind of talk about taking a little bit of a different tone after that game. Was that kind of the first time you've had to do that with this bunch? And
yeah, it really was. I mean, the George Washington game would have been similar, but we didn't have any time because we played so quickly behind it. So we didn't really get to, sit down and break down the film. And, sometimes we clip it up after that game. I didn't clip anything up. We sat there and we just watched the game, as it went. And so I got to kind of get after them, and it's never personal. It's just I can change my tone a little bit if I need to, and just to know the seriousness of it. And if we don't watch ourselves, we're going to mess around, and that could have easily been something close or a loss, and then we're learning from a loss, and then the tone's even considerably different if you lose than it was after a win. But they took it the right way, and that's what impressed me the most. Yeah.
Any more questions for Coach? Thank you.